I wanna I wanna share life like it used to be. A time when you could go outside and play, and most of the time you'll have fun. If there was a misunderstanding, there might be a fight, but folk talked about it for a while and it went away, maybe even before the scars or the bruises. I want to go back to a day when adults cared about you. And even if you were not a part of their family, you were family because you shared the same struggle, just being black. I want to go back to the days when we all had pride that was universal. And to make it meant that you were respectful, that you were a good and caring person, a person who had their tomorrows on their minds today and was working to get there. Not just for the sake of money, but to make a better way for their family and community, to make black being something that was still sought after as a mystery. I want to go back to when an adult was everyone older than you. And even if you didn't know them, even if you didn't see them again, you thought about what they said only because they had the same authority as your parents. I remember when black skin was popular and black a mystery. Our hair was our own. We rocked styles that were ours, and when we saw other black skinned persons, we were pressed to acknowledge their presence and sometimes walking over to them and talking to them, wanting to find out their plight to get to where we are standing right now. When men spoke to a black female, she smiled and didn't see us as a thug. And being a thug was not a cool thing, but being smart was honored by family and friends. Moving to a higher education was just something that had to be done. Being a professional student wasn't even a thought because you wanted to get out of college to start a career and build your family. Men opened doors out of respect, not out of obligation. We helped our females because they wanted us to. And that was something that we saw our fathers and uncles and brothers do for our mamas and our sisters and our aunts and other women in the community. When women wanted to respect men and men did the things that men do to receive the respect and keep it. I want to go back to a time when we as black people watched TV and knew that it was fantasy. We were not so easily persuaded by the mass media to buy beyond our means and think that their reality was something that we had in common. When our video games were a bike ride that had us coming in the house when the street lights came on, and all that jump ropes were taken in, and dinner was served and eaten with all seven of my siblings at one table. Mama cooked meals from scratch, and it was good, and we were full and healthy. I want to go back to a time when chores were in the house was something that had to be done. And when you came home, you had to change your school clothes and put on your play clothes before you did anything. I took the time. I looked to the time when parents were building strong children, that were well disciplined and groomed and took the time to hear what the child had to say, and sex education was talked about not sufficiently, but nonetheless talked about. And we were taught not just at school, but at home. Pulling up pants, tucking in shirts, combing hair, nothing foul about us. From the slogan on our shirts to the slogans that slipped out of our parents' lips to be good to people and to be good to ourselves. When going to school was serious and to talk back to a teacher was cause for punishment. When a teacher called home and they said that they had to get your child's attention because he or she was acting up in class. And as a parent, we knew what that meant. A slap upside the head or a little pat with a ruler. And it was more attention getting when we got home from mama and daddy. When we were told to look for our facts in a book, and we were not tethered to a box, not a television, but a computer. And when we called people when we got home, and if we missed their call, they just hoped that they could reach us later. When coloring books kept children quiet, and fruits and vegetables were a part of our daily meals, not so much meat. When our mothers didn't become grandmamas before they were 35, and when baby girl or baby boy left the house, they left for college or trade school or had a job that supported themselves instead of staying home helping their mothers take care of their baby, not knowing where or who their father is or their baby's father is. When getting food stamps was a temporary thing and getting a good job was a struggle, but we strived to get there. I look to a time when there were love songs. Mr. Telephone Man was a song, and this glorified gang hanging out and slinging rocks and getting papers from the downfall of a community that were introduced to a drug shipped into our country by feds, mandated by the states and sold by black men, and their customers were the citizens of the block. And they get into studio time, get on a mic, make that CD that glorifies their lifestyle of growing up poor and making it big, slinging drugs, and now they can talk about it to the masses. They get rich, and that is the Black America, the Black American way. Yeah, yeah, for our young people to hear and strive to be like. I see a time that is coming around the corner when being black means being respected for the mystery that they have yet to find. They cannot define. And our lives return to the divine. I see a time when we love our color and accept our flaws and try to be better as fathers and mothers and daughters and sons as black people because now we have a role model. Now now we can see, now we can tell our children that they can be the chief commander of the United States and not just be hopeful that they would make something of themselves, but knowing that if they work hard and we raise them right, they really can be chief. I look forward to the time when the black man regains his honor, respect from our families, communities, and even a time when we get our relationships right with God and our black women and our children, and most of all, ourselves. I see it. It is not over the mountaintop. It's here now. We have to do the work, put in the time. We'll get there. I see us there, and my prayer, it is not that we get there. I know that we can and will. My prayer is that we stay there forevermore. To be proud and humble people who love, care, and cherish one another's plight, greatness. I want to share life like it used to be. I want to share it with